All right, what's up, guys? We're back out here with, I guess we're calling it Project Fire Hazard. People seem to like that in the last video. For anybody who maybe hasn't been paying attention to the build, I'll get you up to speed. This is a Pontiac Fiero that we've got an LS4 sitting in with a cheap little eBay turbo sitting in there because, you know, why not? But yeah, in the last video, we got everything sat back on the cradle, lowered the car on it just to test fit things, see how everything's looking. And honestly, everything's looking pretty good. So the big things left to figure out are clutch and flywheel, which I think I have an idea for because we're using the stock transmission. One thing I read is that you can use a flywheel from a 2.5 Iron Duke motor with a manual transmission, and that's the correct offset for an LS4 to the stock Fiero transmission. We just have to re-drill it for the LS crank. It's supposed to be like any year Iron Duke flywheel or an 88 V6 flywheel. I don't know what the difference is, haven't looked into that yet. That's just what I've read. So I'm probably just gonna go with the Iron Duke one. And then, like I said, we've got the turbo just sitting there mocked up. Obviously this header isn't going to work, so let's pull that off real quick, because I had some show up yesterday that I don't think are gonna work, but I've got them, and they were cheap, and I figured I'd try them, because I don't know if they'll work on this side, but they should work on the other side. So these are what's called a block hugger header, because they are pretty tight. Now, like I said, I do think that this will work on the far side. I'm not so sure about this side, because I got a feeling this is gonna dump right where the axle is. But let's try it out. They were like 100 bucks. Cheap. For headers, that's cheap. So we're trying this one. Honestly, I think the other one might work. So here's this. You can see that it kicks it towards the front of the motor a little bit more. Stay. Stay. Good puppy. I think that might work. You can kind of see through there. I think if we cut off that flange and weld a V-band on it, we'll be able to angle it a little bit to begin with right off the collector. And then we can probably just pie cut a piece really tight. And actually, what else we could do, might be able to cut this flange off and like slash cut all of these to go from like this angle to kick it out a little bit. And then at that point, it'll probably work really well. Maybe. There's always a maybe. I do want to see what it looks like the other way too, just so that I know for future reference. Get real cuckoo with it. Let's do that, and then we'll just put you right on it, like that. Man, I wish that would work. That would just be too convenient if that actually worked like that. It almost makes me want to just cut these up and take the time to actually make my own manifold. That's wild, man. If only I knew that the engine and everything wasn't going to come up like another 3-4 inches. Oh well. Let's lift the car back off the cradle, and then we'll see how the header fits on the other side, and we'll see if we can come up with some sort of plan for this, because right now we're just goofing around. Alright, so that will put this right about there. Pretend this isn't here. That's not too bad, because like honestly from here, depending on oil pan and everything, I could kick it down here and run through the stock exhaust path. That's fine. Clears this pan. I mean, that's the dream right there, is going through here. Or I could loop it to go this way and over the tail of the transmission. Frick. So here's kind of my dilemma. I was talking to Brandon Furchess, LS4 King, this morning a little bit about his oil pans. He's got that aluminum one, and he has the budget stamped steel version. The stamped steel version with the mini starter and the oil, like either the spin-on adapter or whatever, that comes out to $11.50. The aluminum version with the starter and the oil relocator and everything comes out to $1,500. Now, I could sell some stuff and buy that, but if I go with that pan, that blocks off this path here, because that comes all the way flat through here and then up. So that's partially, that's like that and the price obviously are my only concerns or hesitations or gripes with getting that pan. Especially after looking right there, it's not gonna show up, but basically I was hoping that the flex plate would stick out here a ways, like out through here, so that I could section this, all that, make a bracket, mount the starter there. Doesn't look like that's gonna be possible. So at that point, what I could do is redo this transmission mount. That wouldn't be a big deal. And then cut this piece out and make something to mount the starter here. The thing is, I don't actually know how well that would work. It's one of those that I would have to just start cutting stuff and hope for the best. Now, I'm a pretty decent fabricator. I think I could make it work, but I don't know how many of these bell housings I could find. So if it doesn't work, I would hate to just cut up this bell housing without knowing for sure I could get a replacement. I don't know if this is the same as the one that's on the 5-speed. If it is, then I've got one of those, which maybe tomorrow I'll go look at that. I don't feel like doing it today, to be honest. And I don't think that there's really anywhere else I could put it. I know the Fiero Guru starter bracket for the F40 transmissions, like bolts here and here, and they cut out this window on the F40 transmission so that the starter gear can engage the flywheel. And I don't know if we could do that up here at all. I don't think so. So I think my only solution, here's my solution. We can just sell stuff and pony up and buy either the stamped steel or the aluminum pan from Brandon Furchess, and then figure out something else to do with the exhaust, where the exhaust runs under the engine instead of running just, because we're not going to need 3-inch exhaust crossover. We're not even going to need 2.5. I think 2 1/4, maybe even 2-inch would be fine. So what we could do I have any 2.5? I should have a lot of 2.5 actually. That's 2.5. There's small. I think this is 3-inch. Yeah, this I know is 2.5. So, realistically, this cradle should be up a little bit more. So, there might just be room to run it right under. And then if we have to, we could oval it out a little bit. And like I said, this is 2.5. We could probably even run 2 1/4. So maybe that's what we'll do actually. Maybe there's actually no need to run the exhaust through that path. Maybe if I run 2 1/4, even 2.5 under the engine, maybe there's enough room. Like I said, I can oval it out, get a little bit more ground clearance. So that might not be a terrible idea. It's not my favorite idea, but it could work. Oh yeah, let me flip this back over now that we can get a better look at things. Oh, shoot, I left the gun up on the car. All right, got it. So now we can get a better look at this. We can see exactly how much room we have. I don't want to have hardly any of this actually above the axle, but at the same time, I think that this might be the highest the axle gets. No, that might not be true actually. Just in case there's any weird stuff with the axle travel. I mean, right in here, the swing should be a lot less than like out here, for example, because, you know, fulcrum's here, or pivot point, whatever you want to call it. So it's like, it should be swinging like this. You can see how closer to my elbow it moves a whole lot less than by my hand. I know I'm explaining stuff that doesn't need to be explained. But sometimes it's easier to just talk and explain it to myself and think through things than actually just sitting and pondering. But I think that this flange is making it look a whole lot bigger than it actually is. I think if I cut the flange off, I can tilt the V-band just a little bit to get it almost straight down. You like that? almost straight down, and then we can like kick it back up. Just whoop. Actually, might be able to come down through here and then up. That way it's a more gentle radius. That might be a much better idea. Let me go get that one bend again so that it's basically just like that, actually. Like real similar to that. I don't know if you guys can see this at all. I'm holding the camera kind of weird. But it'll be a lot like that. I think that might work. And then actually, there will be the added benefit of being able to merge it a whole lot easier, because this piece will be coming off this header, right? And then from the header on the other side, that'll come down over here, and we can just go straight in like that. I think that's how we're gonna do it. Let's see. That would come out by this. So that would put the exhaust pipe like right in here somewhere. You guys are just blonde. So that would put the exhaust pipe like right in here-ish, right in here. Hopefully you guys can see and you're not getting blinded by the light. And then, actually, that helps out with wastegate placement too, doesn't it? Because this will be like that, right? There. That'll be like that, roughly. It'll be up a little bit higher. I mean, not so close to the ground. But I can do a pipe off this way for the wastegate. And then someone actually commented on the last video when I was talking about the exhaust, like for the tips and everything. They said what you could do is have the turbo dump go to one, and then the wastegate screamer pipes go to the other. And I actually love that idea. I think that idea is way better than what I had in mind. So yeah, I think we pretty much have a plan now. So I'll just need to order V-bands. I do kind of want to use 2 1/4 inch piping. So I need to order that. I might need a little bit of piping for the wastegate. I can use the gate off of the RX-7's turbo kit. But I'll need the pipe for the wastegate, the pipe for the wastegate dump. I think we actually came up with a pretty good solution here. I genuinely didn't think that these headers were going to work at all, but I think that they're going to work sweet, which is awesome. How many V-bands do I actually need? I need 1 for each header. I would like 1 where the merge is, so that getting them together is a lot easier. Because when you have V-bands at like a bunch of different awkward angles, it makes it real hard to get that piece in and out sometimes. Injectors, I'll keep using these snake eaters. By the way, if you guys don't know, at Snake Eater Performance, for anything on the website, you can get 10% off using code SNYDERTRON. So go check that out, take advantage of it. I see a lot of people already have, which is awesome. These are Snake Eater 850s. There'll be plenty for this. Sweet. I'm pretty pumped about this. This actually turned out sweet. Let's see, what else can we try to figure out while we're out here? Because I think we kind of settled on getting the LS4 King Pan. It does look like that intake's going to work. Someone asked about front accessories. Yeah, actually, let me check that out real quick. Oh yeah, there will be room for an alternator. So the alternator is going to sit in here, like kind of like an F-body alternator or something like that. And then it's going to be kind of like a small block Chevy, how you use the alternator as the tension. And then for the water pump, we're just running an electric water pump. So basically at the block here will just be some like AN fittings that'll go to the pump and then to the radiator. And then as far as the radiator, I am going to upgrade that. I don't know what one yet. There was one company that contacted me wanting to work with me, and I told them, hey, I'm doing a Fiero. You got anything for a Fiero? And they were like, sorry, don't. So don't know what we're going to do for that just yet. Might have to just find one for some other car that fits these. If you guys know of one, awesome, let me know. And then maybe I can talk them into giving like a discount code or something on that too, so that we all win. So awesome. This actually worked out really good. I'm glad that these headers worked. I'm glad that I took the gamble on them, because I genuinely was not sure that they would work. I thought that they would work on this side, but I wasn't sure. Yeah, and then I'll probably just order like a generic pre-bent kit like I got for the Mani over here. I think for the Mani I got 2.5 though, didn't I? Yeah, this all looks like 2.5, which, to be honest, I'm not going to need all this on the Monte Carlo. I'm just not. Because the turbo's just going to sit here, and it's just going to be like, maybe I'll just use 2.5, because I think I'm going to have a pretty good chunk of that left over. And then, hey, that saves me like 180 bucks. Glad I decided to go over and look at that. This video is actually working out great for a change. Actually, aside from the rust, pretty much everything with this car has gone fairly well. Like I said, I'm not doing anything groundbreaking. I'm just trying to put like my own kind of spin on it. I would definitely say anybody who's interested in an LS4 Fiero, you should go check out Pickardt Performance on Facebook. They do a lot of LS4 Fieros. I've been bugging the heck out of Justin Pickardt, just picking his brain about a bunch of different LS swap stuff related to Fiero, so definitely go show them some love. So yeah, I know that basically all we did in today's video is test fit some headers, but I think we figured out a lot of stuff. I think this was actually a very important video as far as the build goes and like the turbo kit goes. It's going to be pretty easy. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, clicking that bell. We'll see you next time.